It's Saturday night. That means it's time for the Don Tony Show.
The wait all week long is finally over. Get Don Tony's perspective on current affairs in the world of pro wrestling and much more. The Don Tony Show.
And now your host, the man, the legend, Don Tony.
Hey, Gifa, everybody. Gifa, good morning, friends, family, la nostra familia. It is Saturday, SummerSlam Saturday. I know the intro said evening. We have not gotten an updated one, but it seems like Saturday mornings is the permanent home for the Don Tony Show going forward. I am Don Tony here, and this morning we will give you your daily dose of wrestling news, rumors. We got a 5 or 6 minute clip of Triple H talking to media yesterday. Some people online may not be thrilled with some of the things he said, and a name in particular. We'll dissect that. We'll talk about the return of, wait a minute, but you all said that, my juices were titillating last night when they got that shit wrong once again. Tonight we throw sausage. Well, this morning we throw a little breakfast sausage on the grill, and we will tell you the truth about Max Dupree, what happened before, what happens now, what happens going forward. We will spend about 5 to maybe 10 minutes doing SummerSlam predictions. Don't want to spend much time on that for the simple reason that quite a few of you will have seen this show after SummerSlam airs. So we'll give you a couple of quick predictions. We got to talk about the Seth Rollins situation. That has been on everybody's mind. And I saw Mikey, welcome back, has not tuned in live in a while. He made me an offer that I can't refuse. Who do I want Seth Rollins to face tonight at SummerSlam? Not who he should face, because I think we all kind of agree where Seth Rollins should be on the food chain right now, but who do I want Seth Rollins to face? Might surprise some of you out there. So Fly says Ezekiel. I don't think fans really want to see Seth versus Ezekiel, even though it makes sense, if you think of the last month of their interactions. We'll also talk about something with AEW. And again, it's such a shame. It's such a shame to have those people online trying to rub elbows desperately with anybody in AEW. Hell, they'll be fine with 75-year-old Manuel that cleans the toilets after an AEW. They'll rub elbows with anybody. Something that we feared was happening with AEW. And once again, Tony Khan, look, I'm a fan of the guy. Him in wrestling is better than him not in wrestling. But once again, spineless to an extent. You don't expect him to throw his TV networks under the bus, especially when it's under new ownership, sort of. He's going to kiss the ass, and he is kissing up to Turner so bad. Something went down on Rampage yesterday that we talked about a week ago, and it happened. And not one person online talked about it. We were the only ones. And the people that know what we're saying is true are so spineless and afraid that they may lose any chance of this. I know for newer listeners, be like, why is he doing the chicken dance? Why is he doing the chicken dance? We'll talk about that in a little bit. No, it has nothing to do with Aubrey Edwards. Something that we saw during a vignette yesterday. But, we also got to talk about this. I don't know if you're aware of it. And I got a little treat for all of you tonight. I know most of you are aware Sasha Banks, was it next week? It's next week. 1 week from now. Sasha Banks will have to answer 50,000 times from big paying fans. What's going on with you in WWE? What's going on with you in WWE? Are you going to come back to WWE? You know that's going to happen next week, but did you know Did you know someone else was added to C2E2 yesterday? And that person is none other than, drum roll please, Naomi Trinity Fatu. She will be at C2E2, and boy, am I going to have some fun getting into the prices of what Trinity Fatu thinks that she should be getting at C2E2. And, you know, something else. I don't know if you could look at your screen right now, but, sorry. Let me fix this. You've seen a little bit of behind-the-scenes production here. All right, that's better. This is your lineup for C2E2. And as we go down this list, you start seeing some familiar wrestling faces like Lita. We got Mick Foley. I think The Undertaker is on here. There's The Undertaker. So are you curious? Look, you could actually meet Lita and Trish together. Look at that. You could meet Naomi and Sasha together. Well, as Ted DiBiase so eloquently said way back when, everybody has a price. And yes, there is a hefty price to pay if you want to meet pretty much all of these people. So we will break down the price of what this is going to cost. If you want to meet Naomi, if you want to meet Naomi and Sasha, if you want to meet one of the others, hey, you know, I don't mean to throw any shade to Lita or Trish. I love both of them. But if you think, oh, you know, the Naomi and Sasha, a little too expensive, let me go see Lita and Trish instead. Ha ha. Rude awakening. Open up the wallet, everybody. That's all I'm going to say. Open up the wallet. Now, let's talk a few moments about Triple H. Then we could segue into Seth Rollins, do some quick SummerSlam predictions, and then we'll get into, you know, a couple of things that went down yesterday at SummerSlam, a couple of things that's really scratched my head yesterday about SummerSlam. First off, Lacey Evans. I hope she doesn't have COVID. And I'm not trying to spread the rumor that she has COVID, but Lacey Evans was supposed to face Aaliyah yesterday on SmackDown, and it didn't happen. And what WWE said was that she wasn't medically cleared to compete. Now, you would think in storyline, if Lacey Evans was unable to compete, whether she's, you know, a little under the weather. Now, COVID, obviously, you know, that explains why she's not there. But if it's not COVID related, let's say it's a little injury, a little nagging, you know, maybe blood pressure is up a little bit. Maybe she had a little bit too much sausage the day before, the grilled one. Why wouldn't you just have Lacey Evans come out and say that Atlanta, Georgia is not worthy? It's not worthy to see me wrestle, and walk out again. Why wouldn't you incorporate that in the storyline? To just say that she's not medically cleared, you know, you kind of like add sympathy to her. We hope she's okay. I would have just had to come out there and say, you all don't deserve my appearance. Aaliyah, you know, I deserve better. And she should have just walked out, not have the match. But instead we had Shotzi. And Shotzi, first time, isn't this her first time back since what happened at Money in the Bank? Was it Money? Yeah, Money in the Bank. I mean, it's the first time she's back. And she got a victory on top of it. We loved her finisher. I don't know what it's called. But if you go back and you watch Shotzi's finisher yesterday, that looks like a move. And we were joking in a watch party yesterday. That looks like a move that you botch and nobody gets hurt from the botch. And then somebody looks at it and since nobody got hurt, like, whoa, that's pretty fucking sweet. Could you do that again? You want me to intentionally botch again? Yeah, do that. Oh my God, that's pretty freaking epic. Fisherman's DDT. Okay, I'll take it one fall. It didn't look like a fisherman's DDT. It just looked like a hot mess. It looked like a hot mess, but I'll take it. Good for Shotzi, yes. Most members of the family here are fans and supporters of Shotzi Blackheart. You know, everybody has a bad day, and she's been working her ass off. And yeah, Money in the Bank didn't click on any cylinders. My God, you know, no cylinders were clicking for her that day, but, you know, she's better than that. You know that. All right, let's talk briefly about Triple H. And, you know, I think it was Vape Ross Rape. Who is Vape Ross Vape? Did I just say something that rhymed with vape? I know it's early, Don Tony. It's not that early. Vape Ross Vape. He said yesterday that, DT, you like to stir it up. You like to trigger, I'm like, no. I like doing research and understanding the WWE machine, to understand the corporate world, to understand a $1 billion publicly traded company. WWE does not have to answer to goofy people online that whine. Kevin Dunn, he gotta go. He's gotta go. People are like rioting on the streets. You would have thought Osama bin Laden got killed again. Remember the night that Obama announced Osama bin Laden had been killed? Remember all the celebration in the streets? These people are running in the streets. Kevin Dunn, he's gone. Bruce Pritchard, he's gone. He's gone. They think Triple H, and I know I sound like a broken record, but it's hilarious. They think this motherfucker is an outsider. They think simply because the name may say McMahon, but he's really not the McMahon. He is the, wife or husband of a McMahon. They think he's a motherfucking outsider. Triple H has been in that company for what? Almost 30 years? I mean, give me a fucking break. He's not an outsider. These people think that Triple H is going to mold in. It's like that scene from Ghost. Think of all these podcasts online. They got this clay and they're literally molding it. And you hear that goofy song. And they're molding. They think they're molding Triple H. They're fondling the nose in a very sexual way. They think they're going to mold Triple H into what the internet wrestling community is going to be. And this is going to be the WWE version of Tony Khan. You are all in for a fucking rude awakening. Will Kevin Dunn be let go? Very possible. Could Bruce Pritchard get let go? Very possible. If Bruce Pritchard does not sync with what Triple H's vision is creatively, and Stephanie, and yes, Vince still has a say. He owns 51% of the stock. Everybody in that company knows who Vince was, is, and will be. They're not, listen, if you find out tomorrow, you have wrestling news sites that report it, you find out tomorrow that Vince is still consulting and still giving his ideas. No crime there, everybody. No crime. No crime whatsoever. People won't like it. He certainly can do it. You don't think when I said that his DMs are open for certain people, if they want an opinion or something, that they could come to him like people used to do with Pat Patterson? You don't think that chain of communication is still open? Of course it is. Of course it is. In a very indirect way. But that shit is still there. So will these guys end up leaving? Could happen. But not when the internet wrestling community insists that it happens. Kevin Dunn knows he's one of the most hated people in WWE, but not a lot of people can do what Kevin Dunn does. And if you don't know what he does, that's on you. So when you hear Triple H say over and over again, we got to do this as a team, and that includes Stephanie, Nick Khan, Kevin Dunn. Guys, gals, I have some of the footage from yesterday's media I'm going to share with you right now. I don't recall that when Triple H said Kevin Dunn, he looked at Twitter and said, and that includes Kevin Dunn. If any of these guys end up being replaced, they're going to be replaced with people that can fill those shoes. And they have to please the investors. If the investors think that WWE is making a mistake by replacing some people because the internet wants to mold Triple H a certain way, those investors will show it in the business world at the stock price. You do realize, I don't know if you're aware of it, you do realize that 1 week removed from Vince stepping down, all of the gain that WWE made with the stock has gone back down. All the gain during last week has been lost. They're still up 19% this year, I believe. WWE stock is doing great. But this is why you don't base the stock on a moment, a snapshot in a day. The investors look at the overall picture. They don't emotionally buy stock. They don't drunk stock, buy stock. They don't do it like eBay on a whim. You know, if they feel that WWE is in the right direction, they're going to do this, they're going to do that, they're going to do this, then they will invest. If they think that the stock will go down, they could sell. Some people may buy it and sell it quickly to just try to make a quick profit off of it. So anyway, sit back and relax for a couple of minutes. I want you to see in Triple H's own words what he has to say about WWE Creative going forward. And as you watch this, just think about what I said about these people online trying to mold Triple H into something that he is not. He is not. You will see his little spin on things. You will see his style translate to WWE TV. As we said in the Q&A mailbag Thursday, the thing that fascinates me the most for the immediate present about WWE programming is the 24/7 title. I am very curious to see how that 24/7 title is handled. Because if we get a segment where they are just running around like they did before, you know, unless that comes to an abrupt end and somebody that you truly give a shit about wins that title and takes that shit seriously, you know, if that same comedy, stupid antics continue, oh man, I can't wait to see what people's reaction is to that online. But anyway, here's Triple H talking about creative, talking about replacing Vince, can't fill his shoes, and most importantly, talking about the team.
This is the longest running stuff on TV. We say it all the time, right? Raw, SmackDown, SummerSlam, just everything that we're doing, right? There are a massive pair of shoes to fill that I'm trying in some way to step.
John Alba, why you gotta look so pretty? I'm just saying, it's compliment. I like John Alba.
Into, but I do not dream for 1 second that I can fill those shoes. By myself, it's going to take, period, but by myself, it's going to take a lot of us. It's going to take a team. It's going to take everybody here to fill those shoes and continue this on, but we will. We will. The intent is to continue the legacy of what has been going on, what made me fall in love with this business that he created, and to take it to new levels, to take it beyond where it is now. The only way we're going to do that is with a team. That's with Steph, that's with Nick Khan, that's with myself, that's with Kevin Dunn, that's with everybody that is here, that is with all this talent. We have the greatest, hardest working talent in the world. I have no doubt in my mind with this team that we can do it. Not an inkling of doubt. It's just a lot of hard work, and we're all going to grind, and we're all going to make it do, because we have the greatest fans in the world, and we're going to make sure that they get everything they want out of this product, and then some.
We saw Paul Heyman go quite viral the other day.
When doesn't Paul Heyman go viral?
That's a fair point. Big history with creative and developmental experience with him. Is he someone that you'll be incorporating going forward?
I want ideas from everybody. I want thoughts from everybody. To me, this is inclusive, and when I say, you know, that goes for the talent.
Just want to pause this for a minute. For everybody saying that he didn't mention Bruce Pritchard. Bruce Pritchard is creative team. He's talking about the more the executive office. He's talking about that more than anything. As far as the machine that is WWE, Bruce Pritchard is a I don't want to say a cog in the wheel, but Bruce Pritchard. Then you got to start naming everybody on the creative team. So you know those are the four horsemen of WWE executives is Nick Khan, Stephanie McMahon, Kevin Dunn, and Triple H. So that's the four you got to focus on going forward. So, all right, back to the video.
When I say it's going to take all of us, it's going to take all of us. And I want that. I want, like, look, Paul's one of the best promos in the history of this business. So who better when I asked him to be a part of this, he was thrilled, right? We both joke about the fountain of youth at these things. Paul always does this, rub it all over me. It's the fountain of youth, right? Who better to come here and talk about that skill? Paul has the gift of gab, always has, and you know, who better to come here and motivate these kids? And when I talk about that, you know, the 50-plus athletes that are all amazing athletes, why they were selected to be here, from the best of the best collegiately, that's a massive pool. We whittled this down from hundreds to the 50 that you saw here.
Little cameo from Big E in the background. I don't know if you could see that.
In front of all these people and trying to do what we do. The difference from day one to what they are here today, what you just saw here today, is amazing. It really, truly is, and it's a testament to what we can do in this system and what it can do. You look at NXT now, and the crew that is performing there, some of those people have like 10 matches under their belt, and it's been, you know, literally single-digit months.
Be honest. How many of you are looking at the wrestling ring right now?
Since the first time they ever stepped through those ropes. That's amazing. It's incredible. It's a crazy level of success that I'm incredibly proud of. This team, you know, Matt Bloom, the whole crew here, the talent development team, James Kimball, across, you know, Sean Hayes with strength and conditioning, just all of it. What they do here is amazing. And then Sean and team getting it to NXT and taking that to the next level is amazing. And then even that stepping in as I had to step out and just never missing a beat and running with it is incredible. And I'm so proud of all of it and all of them. So talk about Heyman. I want everybody, anybody that wants to be involved. When I look at people who've been through this process and what it takes to get here, I look at Big E and I look at Bianca. Right, Bianca and I were talking about it backstage. She was remembering her first time stepping through those ropes to try this same process for us. Who better than those people to see what that moment and that falling in love with this business can do for them and where it can lead them in their life? Who better to help guide this next gen? Who better to look for that future? Who better to stand in this group and say, look, I can tell you from my point of view, that's something special, right? I want all that involvement, and I want to be as open and collaborative.
It's almost done, everybody. It's almost done.
It's the way we're going to make this great.
Paul, can I ask guys
yes.
questions? I know you have to run. First off, how are you feeling, health-wise?
I appreciate you asking. I feel great. You know, glitch in the road. Luckily for me, it was caught, right? And it took a little bit to get over it, to get past it, but I'm past it. I'm over it. I got a clean bill of health. I'm 100%. I'm very aware of all of it. I'm very aware of really what's important in your life and your family and everything else. But I love this business, and you know, for me, I approach it a little bit differently now. I realize there's actually this thing called sleep that every now and then you can get, and it's really helpful. Good advice for all of you, right? Like, don't be afraid of sleeping. But you know, I'm back. I'm 100%. I'm ready to go, and I'm ready to tear through this and try to put on a big pair of shoes. But like I said, can't really fill. But we're all going to do our best, and we're going to make this thing just go to places it's never been before.
So considering everything that you've been through, do you have a new sense of appreciation for the business? Like, you could have never imagined being in this spot. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you thought you would never be back, right? At some point. So do you just view everything differently? Do you feel that? Do you sense that?
I have a new appreciation for life. It's precious. It doesn't last long. Embrace it. Get everything you can out of it because it doesn't last long.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody.
Oh, fucking yeah.
Second, right? So, you know, embrace your family, embrace your friends, tell them you love them, be upfront with it, and, you know, the things that you love to do in life, embrace that. Work hard because it doesn't last long. You know, my career, people ask me about my career. Am I sad that I'm done wrestling? No. I gave it everything I had. I rode it till the wheels fell off. That's what you're supposed to do. And luckily for me, they told me, hey, you shouldn't do this anymore. Sweet, I'm done. I was wrapping it up anyways. To me, there didn't need to be the perfect out. It needed to be, I rode it till the wheels fell off. I gave it everything I had, and here I am. Come out the other side. I have a passion for this business that has been the same since the first day I ever saw it. And, I can promise everybody out there, I'm going to do everything I have in my power to make this better than they've ever seen before.
Very cool. Very cool. Couldn't have said it better. I think that's probably the most notable difference between Tony Khan and Triple H. I'm not talking about their backgrounds. I'm not talking about money or who had this or who that. But Triple H, it feels like positive strength, happiness, appreciation. I'm not saying that Tony Khan doesn't have a lot of that, but, you see that the clips that everybody focuses on is usually something with hostility. The clips that we all focus on with Tony Khan is hostility. Look at CM Punk the other day. I watched person after person after person after person after person gush, report, vent, agree, praise CM Punk, comparing Brock Lesnar to Sasha Banks and Naomi. And all I kept thinking about was, wait a minute. Brock Lesnar didn't quit. He didn't walk out. And I'm not trying to throw shade on Sasha and Naomi, but I'm like, this is how much people crave that hostility. And when you see those people, especially the ones that claim they want to see WWE get better, but when you see them gush and retweet and sticky what CM Punk just said, everything that CM Punk just said that's the emotional agenda that we talk about. If Brock Lesnar is upset that Vince has to step down, if he wants to go outside, scream, get some air, if he feels frustrated, if he thinks that, if he's gone, fine. Everybody has a right. When you get hit with news that you don't like, people react to it much differently. The bottom line is that as far as what you saw on camera, nothing ever happened. All right. That's why you still don't even have an honest answer about the MJF situation. And that's why you didn't get an honest answer about the Brock Lesnar situation. I mean, and it's wild. We were having some laughs yesterday that so many wrestling news sites credited me with, the phone call that Vince had. Vince has Brock on speed dial. Paul Heyman is on Brock's speed dial. All of this is discussed. And it's just to even listen to what CM Punk said made pretty much no sense. But still, people took that as God preaching. And that's the big stark difference. I always talked about when I used to go to ECW back in the 90s, a New Yorker going to Philly. And, some of my friends used to be like, oh, if anybody fucks with us, we're going to throw down. We're going to show what New York's all about. That never happened. We walked into the ECW arena, even though it smelled like armpits and ass. And you ever smell someone's hair when it hasn't been washed and it's filled with sweat? That's what it smelled like also. But yet everybody was like, hey, hang out. Hey, these are the New Yorkers. Hey, come on. Come here. How you doing? Hey. Everybody had a great time. And this feels like, you know what? It's about having a good time. It's about making the environment appear to be better. We'll see. I mean, right now, this is just words. But again, for anybody out there that thinks that Triple H is this big outsider, is ridiculous. And what happened to the year and a half of these people brainwashing you that Triple H was a clown, that Triple H was a dunce, that Triple H caught a heart attack because of the stress that WWE was doing to erase his legacy? You realize how asinine ridiculous that is? I mean, but you keep falling for it. I have no sympathy for people that I think some people just want to hear that bullshit just to gossip. Gossip is an addicting thing. We all love to gossip to a certain extent. Hey, did you see the fight that this person had? Did you see the Twitter war here? Did you see this? Did you see what this person wrote? Did you see this? And I'm like, I got bigger problems to deal with here, All right. So before we get into SummerSlam, I want to mention this right off the bat. Let's talk briefly about this. Oh, shit. I accidentally closed it. Thank God there's a reverse button. FTR versus the Briscoes. Just going to spend a minute about this. I watched the match from Ring of Honor. I didn't order it. Somebody sent me a stream for free. I watched it. Thought Most of the show was great. Very cool to see Prince Nana getting an opportunity. This match was off the hook. It was so off the hook that if you watched the highlight video that aired on Rampage about FTR, you could have thought that they were facing Lance Archer and Spike Dudley. I mean, you saw it's almost like when we used to watch scrambled cable back in the 80s. Did any of you out there ever watch scrambled porn? Oh my God, I think I saw a nipple. Hey, I think I saw the side of one of the Briscoes' face. You watched that video yesterday, that highlight of FTR winning. You would have never known that they faced the Briscoes. They avoided every visual shot of the Briscoes' face. There was no mention of the Briscoes' name. And again, for all of you out there that think that Rampage ultimately will become Ring of Honor Rampage, when you realize that the Briscoes, who arguably might be the most important tag team in that whole company next to FTR, Tony Khan is so petrified at the Turner Network and kissing their ass and pleasing them that he decides to air a video package yesterday highlighting FTR's win, Death Before Dishonor, and had to eliminate any visual references, shots, face, anything about the Briscoes. All you would have saw was a side shot and their camouflage pants. And it is embarrassing. It is embarrassing to see all of these mainstream websites that saw that yesterday and ignored it because they want to feel like they're inclusive with AEW. I'm an AEW supporter. I tell the shit like it is. That was fucking pathetic yesterday. I mean, the fact, I don't blame Tony Khan for not really criticizing the network, but have a set of balls, man. I mean, have a set of balls. Stand up for your fucking company. Stand up. Now you understand why I said, and I said this a week ago, his remarks that the Briscoes signed an exclusive Ring of Honor deal is bonkers. It's Twilight Zone comments. Wait a minute. You know why he said that? Because when the Briscoes are not featured on AEW television, he could say, well, I told you, they signed an exclusive Ring of Honor deal. Think about that for a minute. Think about how much Ring of Honor is featured on AEW television. Oh, no, the Briscoes are signed exclusively to Ring of Honor. That's why we won't even show the mole on their face. We can't even reference their name. That is horrendous. That is horrendous. You would have thought the Briscoes would have, murdered people. I mean, look, some of their comments in the past are definitely, inappropriate. But, we live in a world where you do get redemption, where you can learn from your mistakes, that you can grow from ignorance and immaturity. And I'm not a big Briscoes fan, but, if there's anybody that is a prime example of someone who has matured and learned from some of their previous views, it's them. And it's so bad that you can't even reference them. You can't even reference them. That is wild, man. That is wild. And it is amazing that that is not a story. And it won't be a story. You will get some websites that will report it because they need some hits. They need hits so bad that they'll ultimately be forced to cave in and talk about it. All right. Let's talk SummerSlam. Let's talk about some predictions. Let's talk about the Seth Rollins situation. Let's talk about, as someone wrote, Gunther. That could change, everybody. Could change. Holding out hope that we might get Gunther at SummerSlam. All the reports going into this was that Gunther and that streak of the Intercontinental Championship not being defended on pay-per-view / premium live events was going to end at SummerSlam. Now people are like, okay, no, Clash at the Castle is the more likely event where that streak will end. Right now we have 8 matches for SummerSlam. I don't think anybody wants 8 one-minute matches. I don't even think people want more than 1 maybe 2-3 minute match. You know, these matches are going to go long. You don't want to start putting 11, 12, 13 matches on SummerSlam. Yes, it's Saturday night tonight that it airs, but you still don't want it to end 12:30 in the morning. So unfortunately, Gunther is on the outside looking in once again. Hopefully that changes. Maybe we get a dark match. We'll see what happens. James, we'll talk about Max Dupree in a few minutes. I want to get into SummerSlam first. And obviously the big stuff with Seth Rollins. All right, so now let me throw the SummerSlam logo on the screen. Let's do a little preview. And obviously the big buzz was this. We were supposed to get Riddle versus Rollins at SummerSlam. It has been nixed, and it will likely take place at Clash at the Castle. For anyone out there that thinks that Riddle is not cleared to wrestle, everybody is reporting that this is 100% storyline, that Riddle is not injured. They feel that with the focus on some of the other high-profile matches, that this match really was not necessary. The feud itself will continue, but as far as this match happening, as of right now at SummerSlam, that match has been canceled. Now, I saw this come in earlier, and I appreciate your generosity as always. Mikey Ravello, loving the Saturday morning show, says he works nights. He's got a good one for me. Who do I want Seth to face at SummerSlam? Not who he will face, but who do you want Seth to face? Keep making the sausage. I absolutely will. We will make some sausage in a little bit. Look, Seth Rollins is definitely one of the top stars in the company. Even though he is a clear-cut heel right now, people love to watch Seth Rollins perform. Seth Rollins has had arguably the match of the year so far with Cody, without a doubt. I mean, you thought that they couldn't top WrestleMania's match. They did. Seth Rollins is at the top. And look, Seth Rollins, for people that don't know, Seth Rollins, with a little bit of venting on social media, Seth Rollins wrote, for anyone who purchased the ticket to SummerSlam, hoping to see me in action, I apologize. I did everything I could over the last 6 months to earn my spot on this show, but some things are out of my control. Thank you for always singing my song. They'll hear you someday. Triple H responded, and he said, I hear you. So now everybody and their mother, including me, thinks that Seth Rollins will be on this show tonight. The question is, what will Seth Rollins do? I know some of you out there are with this idea that, oh, he could be put in the match with Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. Sure, that could happen. But WWE has been hyping up this match, this last man standing match, as the final battle, the final encounter for Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. Whatever transpires in this match, that's it. I mean, look, they said that about Sheamus and Drew McIntyre many, many moons ago, and you see, and we're not complaining because they still make magic. But a lot of you think, put him in that picture. The problem is Clash at the Castle. Clash at the Castle has sold over 70,000 tickets. Drew McIntyre will be headlining Clash at the Castle. My early thoughts is that Drew McIntyre is coming out with heavyweight gold at Clash at the Castle. I think he, as of right now, my early thoughts is he's winning the championship. Drew, I think, is going to win. You put Seth Rollins in that match tonight, it just feels like thrown in there. I don't see that happening. But obviously, Seth Rollins could just be pissed off and just start causing chaos. Maybe Seth Rollins comes out there and gets involved in numerous matches tonight. Maybe he curb stomps Theory after he loses to Bobby Lashley. Maybe they tease something where Seth Rollins wants to take Theory's briefcase. Theory lately, I mean, you got to give him credit, taking the abuse from everybody. Yesterday, he got it from Drew. He got it from Brock. He got it from the Usos. He's got it from Roman. He's got it from It's amazing how many people Theory is pissing off. But, in storyline, Theory's got a huge set of balls to do what he does. So now the question is, who do you want Seth Rollins to face tonight? Write it in the chat room right now. Who do you want? Because I actually do have a person in mind. I'm very curious. Now, Sheamus will not take on Rollins tonight. Sheamus versus Drew. Yesterday was the SummerSlam pre-show. I know a lot of people don't like that comment and don't see it that way. But yes, even though it happened in Atlanta, but this is SummerSlam weekend. Drew versus Sheamus was your SummerSlam preview. They're not on the card, but they had a banger of a match yesterday, an awesome match. Everybody loved it from beginning to end. The outcome was predictable. And we said it a month ago that WWE was going to take the scenic route, take their time getting to the announcement of Drew McIntyre. In fact, we said a month ago that they're going to announce Drew the day before SummerSlam. So Drew, not happening. Some of you say Kevin Owens. Some of you say Bray Wyatt. Some of you disturbed people say Becky Lynch. Becky's already on the card. I like the Kevin Owens idea. I do like that very much. But if you ask me, as far as a person that I'd like to see him face, I know they've wrestled before, but this is a match that I truly believe that a lot of people may remember as far as one of those top quality matches. I would not mind if tonight we got once again AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins. I would not mind that. If they gave them 15 to 20 minutes, I think they could steal the freaking show tonight. Be hard to overtake the Usos and the Street Profits, the importance of that. But I think those two tonight could have a spectacular barn burner on SummerSlam. You think of SummerSlam, we might get some big history going down tonight. Those two guys being on the headline, you look back at SummerSlam a year from now, 5 years from now, and they're on the card. A lot of people will forget that Seth Rollins was supposed to face Riddle, and they changed the match. So I would love, if it was my choice, I would love to see Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles tonight. Do we get that? No idea. But let's get into the matches that are on the card tonight in no particular order. Bobby Lashley, without a doubt, will retain the United States Championship over Theory. And as you will see, I'm going to go through these predictions very fast because quite a few of you would have tuned into this show after SummerSlam airs. And I don't want this show to come off as just a SummerSlam preview. But some of these matches I think are very predictable. I will tell you this much. This SummerSlam card is not as easy to predict as you think. I will not be surprised if I get 4 or 5 matches wrong tonight. But this match, I think, is a lock. In fact, with all of the people that Theory is pissed off, maybe Dolph Ziggler comes out. Maybe Dolph Ziggler, once again, with a distraction. Maybe he physically gets involved. But I see Theory losing and Bobby Lashley retaining the United States Championship. Next, we have Liv Morgan versus Ronda Rousey. And yes, I will incorporate a little bit of SmackDown from last night into some of this. Yesterday, we ended up with a tag match of Liv and Ronda versus Sonya Deville and Natalya. Liv and Ronda get the win. This was a very strange feeling match. Some of you thought that Liv Morgan was like acting heelish. Like Ronda wanted to be tagged in and Liv Morgan was awfully selfish, would not tag in at some points. I like what they've been doing with Ronda the last couple of weeks. During commercial breaks, she shows up, she not chokes someone out, but just submits someone. Dewdrop, Sonya Deville, a little treat for people who are there live. You get to see something that the fans at home cannot see on TV. We might see a little highlight video afterwards. But, the match yesterday was a little strange. Do you think Charlotte Flair returns tonight? Do you think Charlotte Flair shows up right after the match is over to take the focus off the fact that Liv Morgan just beat Ronda Rousey to retain the championship? I do not see Liv Morgan losing this championship that quickly. WWE sees and understands the love and the support that fans are giving Liv Morgan right now. You don't turn Liv Morgan heel. You don't squash that. And you certainly don't kill this dream this quickly. I expect some faux pas on Ronda Rousey's part. Maybe Ronda locks in a submission and Liv just rolls her up. Seriously, I could picture an abrupt roll-up and then Ronda's just sitting there like shocked, like, I can't fucking believe that I allowed myself, to be rolled up. That's what I could see happen. I could see Ronda putting a submission on or something and Liv just moving a little bit and getting a pin. And, I put it this way, I don't picture Liv, like hitting a finisher, Ronda laid out, and getting pinned. I expect something abrupt to happen where Ronda is caught off guard. And then the question is, does Charlotte appear? And does that take the focus off the fact that Ronda Rousey just lost to Liv Morgan? So, yeah, Ronda Rousey, I expect to be jeered by fans tonight. Liv Morgan is the clear-cut babyface. So Ronda will have her share of cheers tonight, but Ronda will be booed quite a bit. And Ronda, got a little snappy yesterday against a fan. Your mother let you down. Yeah, she got a little snappy yesterday. So, look, Ronda Rousey is a heel. I like it. But if Charlotte Flair returns, that would be an interesting dynamic to have Ronda and Charlotte heels. Does Charlotte come back as a babyface? Some of you don't like that idea, but Liv Morgan retains. And if you notice what we're doing with the predictions also is we're looking at after SummerSlam, what transpires afterwards. That's what I always like to do with my predictions here. Here, the Mysterios versus the Judgment Day, no DQ match. Rhea Ripley will get involved. We'll see what happens. Would Aaliyah get involved? I hope not. I hope that was just a Raw appearance and that's it. But the buzz is, will Edge show up and appear? I know a lot of people still think Dominic is turning on Rey. As much as I could see it happening, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure anymore. Because you put Dominic in Judgment Day, now Rey is all by himself. If Edge shows up tonight and gets a little revenge on Judgment Day, it would be overshadowed if Dominic turned heel. So if you ask me, I think that Edge, I think we will see the last cryptic video of Edge where he was writing out in blood. And look, that's an awful lot of blood to spell out SummerSlam, unless maybe they just write two S's. Maybe they just write two S's. But I think if you're going to have Edge show up, you got to do it on SummerSlam. Nobody wants to just see a cryptic video and it says, Edge says, see you at Raw. And then he looks at the screen and then the Judgment Day look all shocked. And then we get, the Mysterios get a win. I think fans want Edge tonight at SummerSlam. So I'm hoping that Edge does write SummerSlam and then we see maybe pictures of Finn Balor and Damian Priest with X's, red X's over their face, or maybe their eyes ripped out on the photos. So I think the Mysterios are going to win. I think they're going to win. And I think Edge is going to be the reason behind it. I do not see a turn going down tonight. Next, Pat McAfee versus Happy Corbin. Yes, that was a legit picture of McAfee's mugshot. A lot of people didn't know that McAfee got arrested about 12 years ago for public intoxication. Not a big deal. But I think people were more laughing about the hairstyle at that time. I tell you, this match is not as easy to predict. I mean, I say Pat McAfee gets the win. I think the crowd would love it. They want to see Corbin get his ass kicked. But, would not surprise me if Corbin got a fast one and got the win over McAfee. I'm going with McAfee simply because I just not a fan of Corbin. I almost find it sacrilegious to root, or predict a win for Corbin ever. So I'm going to go with McAfee, but it would not surprise me to see Pat McAfee get the win get the loss against Corbin. Now, you think of the matches that we already talked about. You got Bobby Lashley retaining, babyface. Mysterio's winning, babyface. You have to have a few heels win in this as well. So that's one of the reasons why I think that Corbin can actually get the win over here. In fact, before I'm done with my predictions, I may end up going with Corbin. I have to look at the rest of the matches and think, actually, the more I'm thinking about it, I'm leaning towards Corbin. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Let me put it this way. I do not believe McAfee and Logan Paul win. I don't see two non-wrestlers, they're training, but I don't see two non-wrestlers getting wins tonight. If Miz defeats Logan Paul, then I see McAfee beating Corbin. But realistically, I think Corbin does defeat McAfee, and I think Miz defeats Logan Paul tonight. I think Ciampa will get involved. Hopefully we don't get AJ Styles involved here, because AJ Styles, I think, will be at SummerSlam. I'm hoping he gets a match with Rollins. But it would not surprise me if AJ Styles, his only duty here is when Ciampa interferes, AJ Styles shows up, negates Ciampa, Logan Paul gets the win. That is a possible scenario. But for me, I think Miz should get the win here. Logan Paul is not over as much. The guy is a natural heel. I think we all agree on that. I don't think he's trained enough to come off with a win here. I think Miz earned the win here. But if AJ does show up to offset Ciampa, then I think we'll get the opposite. Logan Paul will have his arm raised in the air with AJ Styles. And by default, since we love AJ Styles and he supports Logan Paul, then I guess we have to support Logan Paul. I'm gonna root for the Miz. All right, next. Bianca Belair is not losing this title to Becky Lynch. We will get the 26-second tease. We will get that tease. We will get a 2 7/8. We're going to think, oh my God, Bianca almost just lost the belt in 26 seconds again. I don't see that happening. Bianca Belair will beat Becky Lynch. Sadly, this might be the second most predictable match on the card. Michael doesn't like this picture of Becky. It's just makeup. Just makeup and hairstyle. It is what it is. I'm fine with it. I like Becky's persona. I'm enjoying everything that she's doing. So it's a different, view of Becky Lynch. So, hey, maybe it's a shot on, who was it? Kevin Dunn, that never thought that Becky was attractive. Who came out with that one? Oh, I could tell you who came up with that one. People that want Kevin Dunn out of the company. So we'll just now say that Kevin Dunn is shaming people on the roster. It could very well be true. But just interesting timing. Very interesting timing, especially when we talk about Max Dupree. Kind of wish they would have debuted the beachwear collection at SummerSlam. Maybe they still do something. Maybe we get like a 2-3 minute segment where Maximum Male Models go down the rampway and they show off the SummerSlam gear. In fact, WWE do that. It's only 3, 4, 5 minutes of your time. Have them come out tonight. All right, I'm going against the grain on this one. I'm going with the Street Profits to win those belts. I think the reign of the Usos comes to an end tonight. The Street Profits, this is the pinnacle of their run in WWE so far. The last match they had was outstanding. I expect Jeff Jarrett to take a bump tonight. I expect someone else to come out there. I'm still going with the long shot that Sami Zayn comes out with a referee shirt, or Sami Zayn offers his services. I don't see Sami Zayn counting the 3 for the Street Profits to win. But if Sami Zayn is going to remain in this storyline, Sami Zayn has to do something to backfire against the Usos. I'm going with the Street Profits to win these belts tonight. That will be a spectacular moment. And look, there was many months in yesteryear that I just was not feeling the Street Profits. Just wasn't feeling it. The way they interacted with Randy Orton and Riddle was almost heelish at times. It just felt forced. This doesn't feel forced. The Street Profits winning those belts is the right way to go. As much as I love the Usos, and I think that they are the top tag team in wrestling right now, just week after week after week delivering, not just once every 4 or 5 weeks, I think the Street Profits get these belts tonight. I think they get the belts. We'll see if Sami Zayn gets involved. And then you got your main event. Falls count anyway, last man standing. Well, it's not falls count anyway, last man standing. Roman Reigns defending the undisputed WWE Universal Championship against Brock Lesnar. Yes, fuckery will happen. Yes, people will get involved. I think Theory absolutely gets involved. I think we may see the Usos get involved. Maybe Sami Zayn gets involved here. I do not see Brock Lesnar winning the belt. Last Sunday, we talked about this with Drew McIntyre, the character. And the more I think about it, the more it kind of makes sense even more. I could picture Drew winning the champ. If you noticed on SmackDown yesterday, he made a little remark that backs up what I said last Sunday. That if Drew wins the belts at Clash at the Castle, if you remember what I said last Sunday, I could picture him coming out on Raw and saying, I'm a fighting champion. I have 2 belts here, which means I should have 2 opponents here. I could picture Drew McIntyre, his character, wanting to be a fighting champion, and he splits the belts up. He wins one and he loses one. That's how you split up the unified titles. Unified was something for Roman. It will be temporarily for Drew, but Drew ultimately will defend the Universal Championship on SmackDown, the WWE Championship on Raw, and he will ultimately lose one of those 2 titles. Hey, who knows? Maybe he ultimately loses the Raw, the WWE Championship to Brock down the line. But as of right now, I feel Drew wins the championships at Clash at the Castle and then cuts the promo, as I've been saying, that he's a fighting champion. He wants to take on more than one contender. Why does everything have to end like elevated? He's a fighting champion. I think Brock will lose tonight. I expect the fuckery. Roman Reigns is going to retain. He's got to retain. He's got to go into Clash at the Castle against Drew McIntyre. The question is, how do we get to the finish tonight? Expect a lot of fuckery. Maybe Brock Lesnar is pinned under the, one of those little trucks that they have in the back. Those little, who knows? Maybe they drop a car on Brock Lesnar. Somebody, I think, gets involved. And I think Brock Lesnar will be pinned under something that even Brock Lesnar could not get out of. Not a whole bunch of chairs, but I think Brock Lesnar something will be thrown on top of Brock. Maybe we get special effects. Maybe a fucking building falls on Brock, but whatever happens, Brock will not be able to get up. Not because he's knocked out, but I think because something happens to him which prevents him from getting up. Forklift. Yeah, forklift. So Roman Reigns will retain. Roman Reigns will retain. So if you're a member of our Patreon family or a channel member here, and it's not too late, you still have 3 p.m. today. If you are one of those 2 pages, or maybe you're both, you can participate in the predictions contest. We're giving away on each one $50, your choice of either an Amazon e-gift card, WWE e-gift card, AEW Pro Wrestling Tees, your choice. So that will be for today. Yeah, you end up getting 2 for the month of July. But that is your card. Stacked. Last year, a lot of people thought SummerSlam was better than WrestleMania. It's going to be hard to top that this year, but this card is solid from top to bottom, and I'm very curious to see what happens with Seth Rollins. If Seth Rollins takes on AJ, I don't look at it as a step down. But, you know, I almost feel like they may need AJ to be involved with the Logan Paul Miz match. So, all right. Let's get into a couple of questions. And then we'll talk about Max Dupree. We'll talk about a couple other quick things and get out of here. We've already gone an hour, so we got about 30 minutes left. We have some time. Plus, we got to look at C2E2. In fact, that's what we'll do next. We'll look at Naomi, her prices, and we'll compare it with some others. So before we do that, once again, big shout out to Mikey. I'm curious of what your choice is to face Rollins tonight at SummerSlam. Rams fan, why no Walter versus Nakamura at SummerSlam? I think they're saving it for Clash at the Castle, and I don't think it's going to be Nakamura. Nakamura just felt like, you know, the buy time. I mean, that felt like SmackDown storyline. It didn't feel like it was a match that people were really looking forward to on pay-per-view. I don't see Nakamura dethroning Gunther. In fact, hell, give me Gunther versus Seth Rollins tonight. I'm curious, guys, gals, how would you feel if Seth Rollins took on Gunther tonight? Could you picture that? I could picture it. It might end up, you think about Gunther versus Ilya. I could see Seth Rollins pulling off in a performance like that. Would he beat Gunther? No, I don't see that happening. But holy shit, what about Gunther versus Seth Rollins? Oh my God. But, you know, but Rand, trying to answer your question, it just didn't feel strong enough to put. I think if there was more buzz around the storyline, I think it could have very well happened at SummerSlam. And yes, the streak continues. But you feel that streak is coming to an end. Gunther is going to defend that title on a pay-per-view. He's just too good. He's too good, and the fans, he's legit, and the fans are buying it. They are buying in for Gunther. So I think Clash at the Castle is definitely more appropriate for Gunther to defend that championship. My God, in front of 70,000 people? Shit. I think people would have loved to see Drew McIntyre versus Gunther tonight, but Drew had his SummerSlam match yesterday. And trust me, it's not a step down for Drew. The storyline has been painted. You could see in Drew McIntyre's eyes yesterday how important that match was yesterday. Now he's fucking main eventing in front of 70,000+ people. This is going to be that Wembley Stadium moment for Drew McIntyre. That's why the way I feel right now, he's got to win the championship that night. And that just shows you how much WWE values Drew McIntyre. So very, very cool. We'll see what happens. Roger Rubio sending a shot of coffee for this morning. Thank you very much, my friend. Much appreciated. I'll have that coffee tomorrow, though, because I've already had 2. I got up very early today. So I apologize for this shirt. I didn't realize the logo would be that low. I could only imagine people had tuned in and be like, why is he wearing like a V? Why is he wearing a V? So sorry. I just put anything on this morning. So James Edward with the 5 spot. He knows I'll talk about this later, but Max Dupree is still Max Dupree, despite all the news sites and goofs saying that he's out and his future is unknown. Yeah, we could talk about it now. Why not? For people that did not see SmackDown yesterday, Max Dupree made his appearance. Loved every minute of it. I can't tell you how many DMs and emails I got. It was like 7. I'm not going to lie. It wasn't hundreds. It was about 7. People like, hey, what do you think the future is for LA Knight, Max Dupree? You know, all the reports is that he rubbed Creative the wrong way. This and that. Oh, God, that was beautiful. Watching him yesterday. Now, I'm going to say something here that might surprise some of you out there. I don't see Max Dupree sticking around in Maximum Male Models. I think the Max Dupree name stays. But here is what people did not tell you. If you remember months ago, we talked about Max Dupree coming out on pre-shows for SmackDown coming out with Mace. And, we showed you the screenshots and everything. But what I was told at that time is that they were looking to utilize Max Dupree similar to what we used to see with Roddy Piper when he first came into WWF. When Roddy Piper first came into WWF, yes, he had his Piper's Pit segment, but he was also a manager besides a wrestler. And ultimately, Roddy Piper stopped the managing and was just wrestling. And Vince McMahon thought that Max Dupree could be one of those crossovers where he is a good mic piece, because Marseille doesn't really cut promos. Mansoor doesn't really cut promos. Max Dupree could be the mouthpiece for them, be the manager for them, and then Max Dupree could wrestle himself. And then about a month ago, I showed you a picture of the shape that Max Dupree has gotten himself into. Max Dupree was always in great shape, but now it's almost like he could probably perform in some type of competition somewhere shape. And it's wild on how good he should be doing a beachwear collection over Marseille and Monsoir. But the thing is this, WWE, the way that they, especially Vince, envisioned Max Dupree was not what a lot of people wanted. A lot of people out there refused to accept the fact that Max Dupree was going to wrestle again. They thought they were just going to waste him away as a manager, and that was it. And the thing is that started to sour on WWE's part. I have not heard anything. I have not heard anything that Max Dupree, LA Knight, Eli Drake, whatever you want to call him, I have not heard anything where he is a disruptive person behind the scenes. That he was heard saying something to Creative. Well, who? When you really think about it, it's funny with Jonathan Gresham. Everybody's like, oh, all these people heard Jonathan Gresham say this directly to Tony Khan. For Tony Khan, it's a singular person. When it comes to WWE, they never name the singular person. Somehow the word creative is a human being. Well, who in creative? Oh, we can't say. Well, why can't you say? Because we really don't fucking know. Well, how do you know it was creative? Maybe it was just another wrestler behind the scenes. Man, I want to wrestle. So when you start breaking this down a little bit, when people can't give you specifics, they don't have a fucking clue. They don't have a clue. Oh, Vince McMahon was heard telling people that, that Shane will never hear a pop again as long as he's around. Kind of funny that it took until after Vince McMahon retired for that shit to come out. And who do you think Vince McMahon was telling that to backstage? You think Vince McMahon was just walking towards the bathroom? Hey, boss, how you doing? I'm good. You know who's not good? Shane. Oh, okay. Hey, Vince, you want some grapes? We got some really good grapes in catering. Yeah, I like grapes, but who doesn't have a set of grapes? Shane. What do you think Vince turns around and just mingles with people and is going to just throw that out there? Oh, he reportedly said this. Who the fuck did he say it to? We can't say. We can't reveal our sources. Oh, man. Triple H sees Max Dupree more as a wrestler than anything else. He thinks him with his charisma, his ability, and now the crazy-ass shape that he got himself into, that he could be utilized better as a wrestler. Max Dupree, make no mistake about it. I want you to hear this from me. Max Dupree passed the torch to Maxine Dupree last night. Yes, you heard me say that. But under the Triple H reign, he views Max Dupree as an asset in the ring also. That is what you did not see reported the last week. Make it clear. Let me make this clear. You'll hear it everywhere now. You'll hear everybody say, oh, now with Triple H at the helm, maybe Triple H will utilize Max Dupree, LA Knight, whatever you want to call him, how he should have been used. Take note of all the news reports for the last week. They never told you that. I went back and I reviewed them before we got into this tonight. Not one of those articles ever said that Triple H, may utilize Max Dupree more as a wrestler, or we have to wait and see how Triple H uses it. No, people went on their hill and said Max Dupree has been pulled from Maximum Male Models and his future in WWE is uncertain because he rubbed Creative and Vince and others the wrong way. And that the future of LA Knight Max Dupree in WWE is unknown. But as of this writing, he is gone. Gone. No more. Over. None of them said that now with Triple H at the helm, they're reevaluating how best to use Max Dupree. Not one of them said that. Not one. Not one of them said that they're reviewing how they should use Max Dupree. Every single one of them got it wrong. Never reached these shows here because everything that I heard was the opposite. Everything I heard is that he's not a disruptor. LA Knight, Max Dupree, whatever you want to call him, he knows what his value is, and he knows that he could contribute to a much higher level. But he was not throwing Mansoor under the bus. He was not throwing Marseille under the bus. Those two guys were thrilled to see Max Dupree back in the segment with him yesterday. Those guys like Max Dupree. Max Dupree is well liked amongst them. Max Dupree passed the torch to Maxine Dupree yesterday. Max Dupree going forward, we'll see what they do. But if you think that suddenly he's going to grow his beard out further and they're going to be like, hey, that kind of looks like LA Knight. Oh, they should just change the. This is another Viking Raiders thing. The Viking Experience. Why couldn't they call them the Viking Experience? It sounds like two football teams, the Viking Raiders. Remember what I said that night? I'd rather see them push well than have a great fucking name and push like shit. I don't care if Max Dupree is LA Knight or Max Dupree. If they're using him the right way and we like what he's doing on TV, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. So let's see what happens. But once again, that's what happens when somebody writes something and instead of people, hey, I want to be right, I don't want to be first, everybody ran with it to get attention on their websites without even trying to verify. How many websites reported my shit? Did you see? We had a good laugh yesterday. You see how many report? We read a news website. I don't want to say who it is, but it is a big-time wrestling news website. Details behind the call that Brock Lesnar made to Vince McMahon when he retired. Details behind the call. I clicked the article out of amusement to see, I got to see what they're claiming now. And they credited my tweet. They said, so-and-so is reporting that Vince McMahon contacted Brock. And they even got it wrong because my article did not say that Brock contacted Vince. I said, Vince contacted Brock. Brock, you walk out of WWE, you're walking out on me. You're walking out on Paul. You're walking out on everything that we've doing. You're walking out on SummerSlam. You're walking out on I'm still here. You know, that was sausage. And everybody ran with it. So this is what happens when they just cut and paste and they don't verify anything. They got it so wrong again about Max Dupree. But now you'll see everybody change their tune. Triple H is giving Max Dupree a second chance. That's the word you'll see. Second chance. All right. We got to start bringing this home. I know we still got the C2E2. No worries. No worries. Chris Cutrer, thank you for the 20 spot. Much appreciated. He definitely could see a change on SmackDown. They started off hot with a long match. And each segment afterwards, it flowed well and was either intriguing or done to build talent like the Viking Raiders or Maximum Male Models. Well, yesterday was just a beach segment with Maximum Male Models, but everybody is enjoying it. Everybody's liking it. The Viking Raiders, they got to get that vicious stuff out of there because it just sounds too goofy. But yeah, the Viking Raiders getting a convincing victory on the New Day yesterday and then beating the balls off of them. Could the Viking Raiders be the first opponents for the Street Profits? Yeah, I see that happening. I think the Viking, and think about this. Think about this. Nobody thought about this yesterday. Trust me, I was in a watch party and nobody thought about this. Think of the history of the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders. Going out, throwing axes, playing darts, bowling. You got women and this and that. This is not your cousin's Viking Raiders from a couple of years ago. So it is a different dynamic now with the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders. That may end up being your first feud once the Usos lose those championships to the Street Profits. But look, I think that they have repaired the Viking Raiders a little bit. They don't look stupid out there. I think they will loosen up a little bit of the terminology so it doesn't sound so choreographed and goofy. But yeah, I'm with you on that. And the Street Profits focusing on the Viking Raiders, the question then is, who do the Usos start focusing on? So we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, the eye makeup. Look at Ronda's eye makeup. Shit, look at Becky Lynch's eye makeup. Everybody has eye makeup too, sir. Look at Undertaker's guy liner. I could get past the eyeliner and the makeup and stuff like that. I just can't get over the fact that they look like members of the Dark Order. By the way, when is the Dark Order? Just so stupidity. When is AEW going to air on TV that the Dark Order is upset that Anna Jay joined the Jericho Appreciation Society? Maybe I took a pee the other day and I missed it. Did they ever show a segment of them upset? Why would it take them weeks? Anna Jay, what are you doing? Anna Jay with family, what are you doing? When are you joining him? I don't recall ever seeing that. But when you'll see that? When they want to have members of the Jericho Appreciation Society beat the fuck out of members of the Dark Order. So, some not so big Becky fans in the chat right now. Much love to everybody who was here Saturday morning. I hope you enjoy your weekend. I hope you enjoy if you watch the Ric Flair retirement show. I will comment a little bit about it on Monday. I will not watch the match until afterwards, and I know that Ric Flair is okay. If he survives it, and I don't mean that in any morbid way, but if he survives it and doesn't get injury and doesn't look embarrassing out there, then I will watch the match on Monday, and I will tell you my honest thoughts about it. But I can't watch it beforehand because I don't want, put it this way, anybody that watches the Ric Flair match while it's happening live, all it's going to be in the back of your mind is, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I hope nothing happens. I hope nothing happens to him. Oh my God, I hope he doesn't get injured. I hope he doesn't drop dead in the ring. Oh my God, oh my God. If you watch it afterwards and you know he was okay, now you don't have to think about that anymore. That's why if I'm going to watch that match, I don't want to watch it with all that shit lurking in my head because you don't know what's going to happen because it's live. Nero Faye, just showing a little bit of support from Israel. I know the time zone is a little bit better now for my international friends out there. That's one of the reasons why we moved this to Saturday mornings. So people don't have to stay up into the wee hours in the morning. Kind of feel bad when he's in the watch party and it's like 6 a.m., because sometimes I don't even get up at 6 a.m. to pee. I'll just hold it in till the next morning. But I'm glad everybody is having a great time. Thank you, as always, for the support. Now we need to start bringing us home. And let's talk about Naomi and C2E2. All right. Now, as we said earlier, in addition to Sasha Banks being at C2E2, we now have Trinity Fatu. Naomi will be at C2E2. And guess what, boys and girls? You will have the opportunity to meet both at the same time because their tables will be side by side. Naomi and Sasha. That will be the big topic next weekend because next weekend will be C2E2 and we will have phone footage over and over again of every person. Are you coming back? Are you coming back? Go to AEW, feud with Britt Baker. Oh my God, you're the best. You're amazing. Can I touch you? Can I hug you? Can I marry you? Will you go back to WWE? Would you go now since Triple H is at the helm? What are your thoughts on Vince McMahon leaving? Did Vince ever try to grab your butt? That's all you're going to see on these camera things next week. And all that Naomi and Sasha are going to be is pay me first. Pay me first. Pay me now. I answer later. Meanwhile, you're going to see security. Oh, trust me, guys, gals, expect it. It's going to happen. You're going to have reports that security was ushering people out. And you're going to have people complaining, oh, I just wanted to ask Naomi a question. And you're going to see, I'm telling you, I know how this shit operates, and I know what some people are fearing already. You're going to see some security not going to give, for little kids, it's different. You're not going to rush out a little child. But you're going to see some people out there that are going to be, you watch. So now, are you curious? Are you curious on how much they're charging? Now, we already know about Sasha. All right, now, I'm going to put on the screen right now, I'm going to put the webpage for C2E2. Let's throw it on the screen. There you go. Now, I know this is a little bit unprofessional, but I figured we could all look at this live and in person. And yes, I have not looked at any other prices other than Sasha and Naomi. So we already know about Sasha. If you want a photo op, just a picture, $90. If you want an autograph, $70. Now, they added an extra box over here. I don't know if you caught it on the right. I don't know if this over here. But if you want to take a picture with Sasha Banks and Naomi, just a picture, not an autograph, just a picture, you have to pay $130. And you use your own camera. $130 to take a picture with Sasha and Naomi. I think that is fucking ridiculous. I think that is steep. Maybe a double autograph, maybe $100 to just take a picture. If you want an autograph between the two, you got to pay $70 for Sasha. You pay $130 for the double picture, and then you got to pay the autograph for Naomi. So let's scroll down to Naomi and let's see what her prices are. Sasha wants $90. How much do you think Naomi wants? I had a sip of my coffee. All right, let's eliminate the suspense. Trinity Fatu, much more reasonable. $30 for an autograph, $50 for a photo op. Now, that is much more reasonable. Sasha wanted $90 for a photo, $70 for an autograph. I'm a little confused why the $130 price tag for the photo op. Because you could, for $10 more, you could get a picture with Naomi by yourself, and you get a picture with Sasha by yourself. So you have two separate pictures because they're together. I don't know. I think $130 is way too steep. But that's the prices. $30 for an autograph is not bad. It's not bad. But I think the $130 to take a picture with both of them, I think is a little bit crazy. But that is what Naomi is charging. Now, let's look at, okay, there's your $130 price tag for it. Now we look and we see Team Besties. Lita and Trish Stratus. How much do you think they are going to charge if you want to take a picture with both of them? Well, let's see. $100 to take a picture with both of them. I will be honest with you. I think that is a little bit steep. I think $75 at the most should be. It is a picture. It is a picture. There's no autographs involved. You can't resell it online. Yes, it is a memory. But to take a picture with your own phone, I mean, people used to get pissed off at Virgil, and I'm not saying that Virgil is on a level of Trish or Lita or Sasha or Naomi, but Virgil used to take pictures and say, okay, give me $5. You know, $50 for both of them in one picture, I think that's a little bit steep. I think $60, $75 at the most, I think is what they should charge. Now, let's see how much their prices are individually. Trish, $55 to take a picture. Where's the autographs? Huh? You know what? You know what? You know why I think there's no price for an autograph for Trish? I think you could buy tickets. Let me take this off the screen for a minute. I think you could buy tickets for C2E2, and in it you get to visit booths and you get autographs. So maybe with Trish, maybe it's part of the deal. I don't know. I know a lot of people are looking next to Trish Stratus and they want to see how much Vivian Lyra Blair's autograph. No, I'm kidding. They want to see what the Undertaker's prices are. Well, we'll get back to the Undertaker in a minute. Let's see if anybody else is worth looking at here. Anybody stand out to anybody out there? I'll be honest with you. Billy D. Williams was awesome in the movie Nighthawks with Sylvester Stallone. I love that movie. How much is this motherfucker? Look at that. Okay. Now I don't feel so bad about taking a picture with this motherfucker is charging $210. You gangster. You fucking gangster, you. You want to take a picture with Billy D. Williams. Oh, my God. Virgil is like crying somewhere. All right, Lita. Let's look at Lita's. Lita, okay. She's got to be a little bit more expensive than Trish. Trish charged $50. Lita wants $55. Lita, I think it should be the opposite, honey. I think Trish should be getting a little bit more than you. But, all right, $55 if you want to take a picture with Lita. Just think about that. You know, you just take pictures with your phones. You could drop $500 just to take pictures with people, not even get an autograph. If you fall out of love with wrestling, you know, especially when you get older and you're not even recognizable in the photo anymore, you know, you can't even like throw that shit up on eBay. Hey, everybody, I paid $100 to take a picture with these people. Here's an NFT. You can have the original of my picture of them. Here's an NFT. That's what people are going to do. Any names stand out? Any names before? All right, let's look at Mick Foley's. I think Mick Foley's will be reasonable. I think it'll be reasonable. $55 for a picture. I think that's a little steep. I think like maybe $40 the most. But you all want to see The Undertaker. And we got to start wrapping this up. So let's see. Before we look at The Undertakers for last. Svengoolie. No AEW people, I notice. No AEW at all. No AEW. By the way, Lee Moriarty, he's joining up with Stokely Hathaway like we're supposed to give a shit. Lee Moriarty. Somebody has a hard-on for Lee Moriarty. Nothing personal against that guy. Let's click on Undertaker. All right, Undertaker, it gets complicated, everyone. If you want to take a picture with The Undertaker, you have to pay $199. Only up to two people in the photo. So if you have two brothers, two sisters, a brother and a sister, if your parents don't know how to use birth control and had the Brady Bunch, you are fucked. Because The Undertaker will only allow one person to the left of me, one person to the right of me, $199. There can only be two people. Fuck out of here, Undertaker. Seriously. I don't know who got up to two people. That is fucked up, man. I'm a big fan of The Undertaker, but that is fucked up. You want an autograph? On a belt, you got to pay $249. As we've talked about in the past, we won't revisit it again. Undertaker will not sign any trading cards from 1991. Undertaker will not sign any WWE event tickets. No personalizations or inscriptions, which I think is a big mistake because that diminishes the chances of it popping up on eBay. If my name is Don Tony or Anthony or just Tony, I'm not going to go on eBay and say, hey, look, everybody, I got this exclusive autograph from Vince McMahon. And for some reason, Vince called me Lisa. To Lisa. Love Vince. I'll look for something that says to Anthony or to Tony. Then I can say, oh, look. So he won't sign. Autograph on a belt does not include a belt. You must bring your own. I wonder if he would sign a regular pants belt. If I just took my suit belt and said, hey, Undertaker, could you sign this belt? All right. Look at the right. Same thing. Wow, whoa. Okay, $249 for a belt, $199 for everything else. And the best part is here. If you want The Undertaker to write the 5 characters HOF22, you have to pay another $99. So if you want a photo signed by The Undertaker with the inscription Hall of Fame 22, you have to pay $298. $298. If you want a picture with The Undertaker and get a signed photo with the Hall of Fame inscription, you have to pay $497. I could get laid from a halfway decent prostitute in a not so bad neighborhood of Corona and probably be able to get myself some empanadas afterwards and even take an Uber to and back from the massage parlor. And I probably could order WWE SummerSlam Premium Live Event and an AEW pay-per-view. Sorry. That is crazy. That is crazy. I like The Undertaker, and it is a privilege to meet him, but I think that is just wacky. That's crazy, man. I'm looking. I don't think there's anybody else on this list, right? Yeah, there's nobody else. Isn't this the one that Cody came to the rescue? That Rosario woman, she wants $125 for an autograph. I'm gonna start getting angry. I think some of these people charge these crazy prices so they can look in the mirror later and feel important. Like, yeah, I'm worth it, bitch. I'm worth $125, motherfucker. Seriously, if I was going to pay $125 to have Rosario sign something to me, I would make her personally inscribe it to say, like, to so and so, something, like from, whatever. And I would make her write like this whole, like, to my favorite lover, Don Tony. Rosario, you want $125 from me? You got to make it seem important. To my former prom date, Billy D. Williams too, man. To my favorite homeboy from $200-something from that guy. Oh man, I think that's a little ridiculous with The Undertaker. I could understand if he had Terry Funk fingers and he couldn't sign, like his fingers were all like swollen and he couldn't write things anymore. Have you ever seen Undertaker autographs that I give away in the watch parties? Undertaker is one of the most beautiful signatures that are out there. You see a lot of people, with all due respect. I mean, look at this Roman Reigns photo that we're giving away. I mean, he's been doing this for years, but Roman Reigns just writes RR. You look at Darby Allin, you think a 6-year-old did it. He just doesn't even like script. It's just like capital D, capital A. I mean, these people just take the cheap way out. Undertaker has got a beautiful, beautiful handwriting, but his hands are not fucked up. So that's I don't know, man. That's pretty steep. But what do you all think about the prices to take a picture with Naomi and Sasha or get autographs? So I think it's a little steep. Best wishes go out to Dante Martin. He was seen, PW Insider reported this. Got to give them credit. They're the ones that reported it. He was seen backstage at Dynamite on crutches after his match with Sammy Guevara. So, again, not a good sign when you look at injury. So let's hope that he's not out for any extended period of time. So, all right. Darren says charge whatever the fuck you like. Look, Undertaker's making that money. But would you go to C2E2 and drop $1,000 on autographs and sign and Polaroids? I mean, look, I mean, obviously we're not in 2002 anymore, but I think back to when we did autograph signings back in the day. Brock Lesnar, I did an autograph signing for Brock Lesnar at Video Game Central. We charged, I think, $30 for the autograph photo, and Brock personalized them. In fact, my former co-host, Kevin Castle, I got him one, and I think he wrote to Kevin or to Kev Castle. Those were $30. And if you took a picture with Brock, I think it was maybe another $15, $20. Sure, Brock Lesnar in 2002 is much different than the Brock Lesnar in 2022. But, we did autograph signs for Batista, Shawn Michaels. You took a Polaroid and got an autograph, the most you spent for both, $50. The most, $50. In fact, you know what a lot of wrestlers used to do? They used to take a Polaroid with you, and then they signed the Polaroid. Because if you ever look at a Polaroid photo, you have that white, part of the picture that you can hold so you don't get fingerprints on the picture itself. A lot of wrestlers would sign that white area. So you got your Polaroid and you got your autograph in $40, maybe $50 at the most. So it's pretty wild what they charge these days. That's a lie. I could never drop that kind of money. I can't, seriously. But that's why it's funny, when we give away like an autograph photo of Sasha Banks, especially on the watch parties. Now you see, you got to pay, $90. And most of the time, they don't even put your name on it and inscribe it. Michael, I got into this in detail about the 1991 trading cards. It's all about resale value. I don't remember which episode. You could search my channel, but it's about resale value. It's about throwing it right on eBay and demanding $2,000, $3,000 for it. Undertaker, that's why, like I said, and I'll leave you with this, that's why I think refusing to inscribe is, I think, a big mistake. Because if your goal is to not have things show up on eBay, look at the belt. Look at the belt. Remember what I just showed you. Think about this. I don't think people have really sunk in. Undertaker is charging you $249 to sign your belt. Your belt. He's charging you $249 to put that signature on that belt. How much is a signed Undertaker belt cost on eBay? $1,000, let's say. So you buy a replica belt. You might spend $400, $500, $600, $700 for a replica title. So basically what they have figured out is, okay, I'm almost, you know what? I'll go on eBay right now. And if I find anything really quick, I'll show it to you. Here, Undertaker signed title. Let's see. Okay. I'm looking right now. All right, here. Okay, yeah, I'll share the screen. I'll share the screen with you. Let me just pull this up. This is what some people are trying to get on eBay right now. Hold on, let me pull this up. I don't know if you can see this. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Okay. Now, this is WWE sponsored, so that's different. This is multiple signatures. All right. This is somebody asking $1,500, $1,200, $1,200,000. But you figure, realistically, I think $800. I think $800 is a pretty realistic price. I think $800 is a pretty realistic price. What's the cheapest here? I mean, some of these titles are cheap, garbage. They're not even like real replica titles. Look at that. That looks like a piece of gold foil. So if you look at these, look here. This is $500. This doesn't look as a bad deal. $500. So how much is this replica championship? So Undertaker is charging you $249 and you have to supply the belt. So now if you paid $500 for that title, you pay $249 to get Undertaker to sign it. To just break even, you have to put it on eBay for $750. So the idea is if Undertaker's going to sign something just for you to put it on eBay, then you're going to pay top dollar for it. But that's why the personal inscription, that's a big mistake on Undertaker's part. Because I guarantee you, if you went on eBay to buy an Undertaker signed title right now, and you looked on one and it said to Josh, or to Maria, or to my bestie from the Westie, Testy, I don't think those belts would be worth as much. Who the fuck wants to have in their collection, You're going to get laid. Like somebody, you met someone who's a huge wrestling fan who loves the Undertaker. Oh, you got to come over to my house. You got to look at my Undertaker exclusive collection. And then you walk into right on top of your bed in a very weird way. You got this big Undertaker thing, and you look at the belt, this beautiful belt, beautifully framed, and you look, and the person is impressed. Oh my God, that's amazing. That's incredible. That's awesome. Who's Josh? You inscribe it, it lowers the value. That's just my opinion. But man, that's some steep prices, man. It doesn't increase the value when you personalize it. The only time it increases the value is if Undertaker writes WWE Hall of Famer, 5-time champ. I'm just saying, like, if he writes inscriptions underneath it, the more he writes, the more it's worth. But the minute he puts someone's name on it, to my good friend Will, I guarantee you only people named Will find that more valuable. Because somebody named will buy it off of eBay and overpay for it, and then go up to people and say, hey, I met the Undertaker last month. Oh, yeah, really? Let's see the proof. Oh, my God, he did. Definitely decreases the value. All right, I'm out of here. Enjoy SummerSlam tonight. I know we didn't get into detailed results of Rampage. I could show it to you on the screen. Best friends in Orange Cassidy over Jay Lethal, Satnam Singh, Sanjay Dutt. Bullshit comedy match. Didn't expect anything else. Ruby Soho losing to Anna Jay. I don't know. That rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Like I said, for me, more storyline-wise, why isn't the Dark Order upset about this? You know, we got some open challenge that was accepted. Not really an open challenge, but Wheeler Yuta is taking on Jericho Wednesday. We'll do a preview on Monday. But if Jericho loses to Wheeler Yuta gets the title shot against Jon Moxley. Why would anybody want to see Yuta versus Moxley over Jericho versus Moxley? So you know what the outcome is going to be on Wednesday. Matt Sydal losing to Lee Moriarty. What was that? The teacher versus the student that nobody cared about. The Acclaimed music video was awesome. And Ethan Page destroying Leon Ruffin, the former Leon Ruff, NXT North American champion. I will tell you this. Rampage is a fun hour because they cram a lot in there. The problem is it's just a lot of, they focus more on Ring of Honor than their own AEW belts and storylines too often, in my opinion. So, all right, I'm going to jet out of here. I hope you all enjoy SummerSlam. Now, for everybody who's checking this out afterwards, leave your comments, questions. I will spend part of this afternoon answering your questions. And, I'll be back here tonight, Saturday night, for your SummerSlam recap. We'll see who Seth Rollins faces if he has a match at all. Maybe it's just a bunch of run-ins all night long. Will we see the Street Profits dethrone the Usos? I think that is very possible. I don't see any other title changes unless we see some goofy 24/7 shit, which I hope we don't. But quite a few people not on this card tonight. So we'll see if we get any pre-show matches. So, all right, everybody, be well. If you enjoyed tonight's show, smash that thumbs up. And next Saturday, we will be right back here, 11:05 a.m. And have a great day, everybody. For my international friends, have a great evening. All the best, and I'll see you all soon. Night, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a podcaster. For me to live any other way was nuts. To me, those goody-good people who worked shitty jobs for bum paychecks and took the subway to work every day and worried about their bills were dead. I mean, they were suckers. They had no balls. If I wanted something, I just took it. I ran everything. I paid the bills. I paid the host. I even paid the masked maniac. Everybody had their hands out. Everything was for the taking. We always called each other good fellas. You would always hear from somebody. You're gonna like Don Tony. He's alright. He's a good fella. He's one of us. But if you're part of my crew, nobody ever tells you they're gonna get rid of you. It doesn't happen that way. There weren't any arguments or curses like in the movies. See, your haters come with smiles. They come as your friends, the people who've claimed they care the most for your life. And now that's all over. And that's the best part. Today everything is different. There's lots of action. I don't have to wait around for everything like everyone else. Oh, I didn't get the vaccine? Fuck you, vaccine me. Oh, your delivery guy has COVID? Fuck you, feed me. Right after I moved here, I ordered egg noodles and ketchup, and I got spaghetti with meat sauce. I'm no longer an average nobody, while they get to live the rest of their lives like a bunch of schnooks.